Okay. Okay, sorry, that was a little bit of a... So, hi everyone. Thank you so much for taking the time to come to this meeting about the recreational soccer program at North Toronto Soccer. This will only be around 20 minutes. And then if you would like to save all your questions to the end, we'll do a question and answer period. And then that can be this meeting. So thank you again for joining. Jenna is gonna kind of monitor the chat. So if you have questions, you can put them in there and we can answer them at the end so you don't forget them. So let's begin. So table of contents, what we're gonna do, we're gonna go over admin, the age groups of our program and what we should expect in these age groups, our staff, who they are, what they do, the curriculum. So what do our sessions look like? What kind of activities can you expect? Something that's called Train to be a Nitro. It's also known as optional training, supplementary training. And then we'll finish off with question and answers. So some admin. So if any of you have talked to Elaine yet, she is our admin for our program. She's been doing this for many, many years. So she is great help with setting up teams, getting you registered for the right program. She's usually the one that sends out emails to everyone regarding updates with the program. So she is a great person to talk to. And she, her email is admin@northtoronto.com, I'm pretty sure. Is that right, Jenna?
Kayla, it's administration@ntsoccer.com.
Sorry, at NTSoccer. I knew it was different than ours. Thank you. Then there's me, Taylor. I'm the new program rec manager. And a little bit about myself. I actually grew up in the club. I played from when I was around 8 years old all the way up to U21. And then I kind of transitioned into more of a coaching role as kind of a part-time job on the side of my other job. And then I transitioned to this full-time position where I get to work with wonderful staff. And I'm super excited to have my first outdoor spring season. I started this role in January, so I just kind of did a little bit of the indoor and now I'm transitioning to outdoor. And then we have Adrian. He is the head of referees. So he does everything on the referee side. Throughout the club, but he does a lot for our rec program. So you might see him on the fields and feel free to say hi to him. He knows everything about soccer, so it's great to have him on our team. Sorry, let me just memorize that. So North Toronto Player Pathway. So our club has quite a lot of places for people to play at. So as you can see, we have our recreation program just down here. And it goes from U4 to U18. And then as we go up kind of here, this is where our competitive teams and players are. So we have Train to be a Nitro, which is in the indoor season. And then we have the Nitros Select, which is also under the recreational program. So all these at the bottom are with our recreational program. And then we go up into the competitive side. So that's the NDP program, which is with U8 to 12. And well, I guess the NDP is U8 to 10. And then U11 and 12 is our advanced development program. And then as you age up, there's different possibilities to play. So our recreational program is a great way for kids to start soccer. And as they learn to love it and kind of get and develop skills, they can continue within our club. So what to expect from this program? So one of the biggest things is when and where do you get our uniforms and balls? These will be distributed on the first session on the field that you'll play with at. So the coaches will collect this for you and it will be at the field, and that's where we will distribute it to each player. We do recommend and encourage that players do wear shin guards with socks covering them. And this is just kind of to protect their shins, obviously, but it's kind of safer if the sock is on top so that they're not ripping it off with other players kicking at their shins or anything like that, or a ball hitting it. And then U7 plus, it is required to play. And this is just the rules of the game. You'll see every league and level they do need to wear this. It's just part of the game. We also encourage no jewelry to be worn. This includes earrings, bracelets, and necklaces. If you can't take them off, that's okay. You can tape them, but it's really recommended that you do take them off. It's just a safety concern for the person wearing it, as well as others that can get tangled within these. And then finally, this isn't a drop-off program, so parents and guardians must remain at the fields during these sessions, and this is just for safety. There's lots of kids and lots of parents involved, so we just want to make sure that everyone is there and that we aren't doing this as a drop-off program. Additionally, we have some policies, whether it's rain out or thunder and lightning. So in the instances that there's a lot of rain during the day, sometimes the fields are not playable, and we will try to communicate this to everyone before the time actually begins. And sometimes the city actually closes the fields before we could determine that. So if that happens as well, we will communicate that through email. Additionally, thunder and lightning policy. So this usually happens on the field. So if we're on the field and thunder and lightning happens, we have to wait 30 minutes before we can play again, before it happens. So that will just be made on the field. We do have an end of season festival, which happens the last weekend of the season. And more information will be sent out about this closer to the date, but it's kind of just a way that we all can celebrate soccer, be on the same field, have a couple games during the day. There'll be a barbecue, face painting, extra fun games. So we really encourage you guys to come out to this day or this weekend to experience that. And then Power Up, most of you have already experienced Power Up with registration. So just familiarize yourself with Power Up, with the emails, to make sure that you're up to date with any policy that, such as the rain out policy or thunder and lightning, we can update you through there. And we also, or Power Up also has an app that you can download that might be a little easier on your phones. So age groups. So as we go through, we have a couple age groups within the recreation program. So the first age group is U4 and 5, and this is called Active Start. And this will be found at TFS, Toronto French School, with all the kids on Saturday and Sunday. So in this age group, the development goal is to just get familiar with new people, with the coaches, with different players, following instruction and socializing. A big thing is just getting them having fun, loving the sport, getting them introduced to physical literacy, which is a big thing, is moving your body. Can they move laterally, side to side, up and down, things like that. We will introduce a ball, which is super important because that is what soccer is about, and we want them to get comfortable with that ball. I will go into detail about what our session plans will kind of look like, but a lot of our activities will start without a ball, and that is mainly just for getting physical literacy involved and getting the kids kind of warmed up and everything and ready to go. And then we'll have a lot of high player ball ratio. So that means that a lot of the players will have a ball at their feet, and that just makes sure that they're kind of getting used to that. And we just want to make everyone comfortable and feel that they are able to have a chance with the ball. And then essentially we want them to score goals, which is great. So if everyone has a ball at their feet, they do have that chance to shoot on the net, and it kind of just reinforces the positive expectation with soccer. So then we're moving on to U6 and 7 and 8, which is fundamentals. So the U6 group does have a little bit of a different playing dynamic to the U7 and 8, and that's just because of the age group that they are. But we will focus again on being comfortable with the ball, and we'll start to introduce the rules of the game. So it'll be more small-sided games, 3v3, but we'll start to introduce some rules to the game. Again, we'll continue working on physical literacy, and then some of the activities will be without a ball, but again, we'll still have a high player to ball ratio. games will be free flowing, but we'll have a little bit more structure than the U4 and 5. So we continue with the U7, 8, 9, 10. So these players are going to get a little bit more familiar with the game and techniques of soccer. It will have physical literacy, but it'll be more with the ball involved. And this is just to get them familiar with the structure of soccer. We're going to introduce a referee at U9 to start enforcing the laws of the game. And yeah, it's just, again, we're just transitioning into how we can develop the players as they continue throughout the sport. And then we have U11 and 12 groups. These will also have officiated games. And a lot of these will have a lot heavier soccer focus in the activities, which I'll kind of talk about later. And then we have U13 plus, which is just game playing. So we will have kind of 2 teams playing against each other. And then we have volunteer coaches that will be coaching these teams. And we have a full-time ref that will be officiating these games. And this is just a way for our policy of just soccer for life. So playing as long as possible. We want our players to play all the way up until U18, which is what this program goes up to. So then we have our staff. So who are our staff? So many of our staff are club and community members. A lot of the time it is their first job. And the reason why they do choose this as their first job is because they're super passionate for the game and working with children. So that is why we hire all of our staff. They're super passionate and energetic. And we're super excited to have them join this year. And we actually have quite a few staff returning, which is amazing. So you might see familiar faces if you joined us last year. Then we actually have just concluded our training for this year. So all of our staff are trained. They've been through an interview process. They've been through preseason training. Additionally, they also have to complete Respect in Sport. They have to complete Ontario Soccer Game Leader program. And this is just a way to start their staff or their coaching training as well as ref training. And we would love them to continue to develop and take additional courses in the future and hopefully continue with this. So how can we support them? We definitely do look for feedback throughout the season. You're more than welcome to, if you see me on the field, to say, hey, this is what I'm liking. Is there a way to, include this on the field? And that's how probably the best way to communicate with all of the staff, because we do have 100+ staff members. If any concerns do come up, as I just said, please look for myself on the field or any of our supervisors, such as Adrian, or you can email me. I can leave my email in the group chat afterwards, or Elaine, and we'll definitely address any concerns that you may have. For volunteer coaches, as I mentioned before, these are for U13 teams and above. If you're interested in that, we will have an information session tomorrow, lunchtime, same time. So you can join that meeting as well, and we'll talk a bit more about that there. So the curricula. So what does our programs include? So our curricula is designed to make the best environments for the best, or for the specific development age group we are addressing. We look at Soccer Canada as well as Soccer Ontario, as well as all of our great talented staff within the club to develop this curriculum. We look to give players confidence on the ball, so lots of dribbling, as you'll see, and as I've mentioned before, even if it is a game, we will try to include a ball in it. And that's just to create an environment where everyone can learn from their mistakes and know that mistakes are okay and that you can improve by making mistakes. So that's something that we are looking to include. So all of our sessions will follow a game activity game format, and that's also known as a gag format. So if you ever hear us saying, oh, we're going to run a gag format, that's what that means. And essentially why we do this is because they start with the game that they love and they also end with it. So it's kind of a great way to get everyone involved. So we usually will start the game as soon as we can. That's to get people going and playing and not wasting any time on the fields. And then we'll do 2 activities in the middle, which again will include physical literacy and as many touches on the ball as we can. And then we'll conclude with a game as well. As we go on. So for instance, this is something that a U4 and 5 might look like. So we'll start the game with either a 3v3 or a 4v4. It just depends on the age group, the number of players. And they'll start by playing, and this kind of allows kids to trickle in. If they're a little bit late, that's okay. We'll just get them started and playing right away. So we'll start with that. That'll be around 10 to 15 minutes. Then we'll head to our first activity. So something like this will be planned. This is what the coaches will get. They'll get the words, what we're looking for, what's the objective, why are we doing it. Then we have key words that we're looking for and to say so that the kids can get familiar with what wording we use in soccer, because there's lots of different ways we can say things, but we're looking for things such as, for this activity, scan the field. Can we change speed? Can we change direction? And can we look for space? So that's kind of the things that our staff will be saying to the kids. And that's just creating them the vocabulary they'll need for their whole soccer career moving forward. So then we'll do an activity like this. And as you can see, there isn't a ball. So this is more focused on physical literacy and agility. And then as we move on, we could play something like octopus, but we would include a ball. Sorry. We would include a ball here. So then make sure that everyone has a ball at their feet. And this would be a second activity. So each activity would run for around 10 to 12 minutes. And then we would end in another game like this, a 3v3 versus or a 4v4. And again, this kind of just allows kids to implement what they've learned in those activities into a game. And then there's something called supplementary optional training. So this is a chance for kids U7 to U12 to have a chance to play more soccer, essentially. So it will happen on Saturdays and Sundays. For Saturday, it'll be the boys. On Sunday, it'll be the girls. And it is essentially going to be the hour after you play. So if you play at 9 a.m., this session will run at 10:15. So it'll be just 15 minutes after your program. So kids are welcome to stay and participate in this. So why should you attend this session? It's just another chance to get more touches on the ball. And it'll be with some of our more experienced staff. So they can hopefully give a little bit more insight on soccer and ways to improve and things like that. And then the best part about this program is no additional cost. So for our outdoor season, everyone is welcome. It's just, again, what I said, it's just the hour after you played. So if you're willing to stay another hour, then that would be great. We do offer something like this in the winter, but it's standalone program. So you would have to pay for that in the winter, but that can be discussed later. And yeah, that's kind of our whole presentation for the recreational program. So I was wondering if we have any questions. I'll go to the chat and see. Okay, so this one says, oh, do we know when the schedule will be posted for U13 Spring Rec? Elaine will be posting that this week. I'm not too sure on the specific date, but it will be before Saturday. So it'll be probably Wednesday or Thursday, I would say. And I'm just going to write this down. Okay. So the next question is the GAD format for U4 as well, or only a certain age? So the GAD format is for U4 all the way up to U12. That's what we do for the GAD format. The activities will be different, and also the game. So for the game for the U7 to U12, they'll be playing, actually I think it's U7 to U12. It'll be a little bit more soccer focused in the sense of the level of soccer activity that we're playing, but it will all include soccer. Next question is, when is the start date for U8? So the start date for the whole program is the Saturday, May 6th. I don't know which U8 group you're in, but essentially it starts on Saturday. So if your session is on Saturday, it'll be Saturday. If your session starts on Sunday, then it'll be the 7th, and then we'll just continue going through there. I'm on the Power Up app, but I don't see any information. Okay, I think that the reason why there's no information on Power Up yet is it just hasn't been released. So again, this will be released this week, and I'm going to try and get it out by Thursday. I'll write this down. Can you jump from rec to development within the spring season? Jenna, do you know that question? I think,
yes,
yeah,
you can. There's not really a time frame. You would just have to come and check out the development program and speak to the coaches. And if it's the right fit for the player, then they can transition from recreational to development within any season during the year.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so if you are interested, please reach out to either me or Jenna, and we'll kind of get you in contact with the right team, the coach, so that they can get you out to a session.
I'll put my email in the chat as well as yours.
Okay, perfect. Sorry, I'm just also reading these. There's one, is there a way to avoid mixing personal players' balls from the balls that are used during play? Finding my son's ball was always a challenge at the end of the sessions. I'm not too sure about this one. So what we will have is Sharpies that everyone will write their name on the balls. I do know that there is quite a lot of balls. So whether or not it's used in the program, I'm not, like, I don't know if we can separate them, just in the sense that they are the same style of ball. Just know that our balls won't have any writing on them. So that's kind of how you can tell. I do know that that is hard, but it is part of the program. Okay, there's some more. I'm wondering if there's no. Okay, that one I think I answered. Jenna, do you know where they can find the Power Up or the info on the Power Up app?
I was muted. I'm not sure. Competitor doesn't use Power Up, so I'm not entirely sure, but I know that once it's posted, Elaine would probably send some information onto how to find it.
Okay. Yeah, so Elaine will be sending that out this week, and I'll email her after this, just making sure that these should be noted in the email. So where to find it. Another question is about where do I find what team? That will be, again, in an email that Elaine will be sending this week. You do not have to register for optional training. You just drop in, and it'll just kind of be flagged so you'll know where to go. Or if you don't know, just ask a staff member and they'll point you in the right direction. So yeah, you do not have to sign up for it. I don't know that question. So what are the ages for the optional supplementary training? The ages are from U7 to U12. 7. Wait, actually, it might be to U10. Jenna, do you know that?
I don't.
Isn't it there? Do you mind asking?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. I'll come back to that question. Yes, I will send out an email, or the email about Power Up app. I'll make sure to put that in the email.
Taylor, sorry, just to go back to the additional training sessions, it's U7 to U10.
U10. Okay, I knew it was U12. Yeah, sorry. So U7 to U10. Um, okay, that's good to know. Okay, geese extra large. Okay. Do you need cleats or turf shoes enough? It really depends on your preference. Turf shoes can be really slippery on wet grass, so I would recommend cleats, or at least turf shoes, which have little spikes. Oh, sorry, you did say turf shoes, not indoor shoes. Okay, turf shoes could be enough. It just depends on whether the kid thinks it is enough grip. So yeah, that is just a personal preference, but we definitely do recommend cleats, especially at Eglinton Park or any grass field. It can get really slippery. If the child is away. Oh, yes. So if your child is away the first session, the uniforms will be there for the second session. So no problem about that. You'll pick it up whatever your first session is. If I won't be addressing fall right now, but if you do have questions about the fall program, please email me. Again, my email will be in the chat. So that's something that you can look for, and then just email me or Elaine a question and we can get back to you on that. Okay, there it is. There's no level assessment prior to the start. Someone can't ask that. The teams are based off of a couple criteria that Elaine goes through, but it's not from assessment unless there was a previous team, if they played it on a previous team and the coach provided a bit of feedback, but we do not assess everyone before. So Natalie asked if Sundays are at TFS. TFS is for the U4 and 5s only. The rest will be at Eglinton Park, or if you're an older age group, there will be a couple other locations such as North Toronto or Lawrence Park. Is there development offered for ski? Again, if you have anything about the development program, you can email Jenna. She will be able to answer specific questions on that. So Soccerplex is only for the indoor season. And that's also a competitive thing. So you can talk to Jenna about that. I do understand it is hard to get to it sometimes, but yeah, that is an indoor season location. We don't practice there outdoor. Yeah, we had another question about multi-surface shoes. They do work. It can get a little slippery, but it's up to the player whether that's something they want. What day and time of the week is the optional training? Good question. So the days and times of the optional training is Saturday and Sunday, and these will actually start the second week. So that will be the 13th and 14th of May. And we can send out an email about this probably next week so that everyone understands where they should be, what time is every age group, so that you know where and when that will be happening. So that will be coming out next week. Yes, I will send the app. So is the location on Saturday, May 6th? Yeah. The question about the location for the U15-16 boys will come out with the schedule. I think there might be 2 locations. I think it might also, actually, I need to double check for that one. So when the schedule comes out, you will see. I just don't know it at the top of my head right now. Register for U6. Sorry, I'm just continuing. So for the U8s on Tuesdays and Saturdays, Tuesdays is not considered additional training time. It's again just another session. It'll have game, activity, activity, game. The only optional time will be another time that you haven't signed up for. It's just going to be 1 hour on Saturday or Sunday. The schedule will be coming out later this week. The U4 will. Yeah, you will know which team / group your child is in before going to the field. So you know who to look for and what color to look for. You will receive socks with the uniform. So it's socks, shorts, and top, and then a ball. So if no session is due to rain, is there a makeup session provided? I actually don't know this. Jenna, do you know this, or
Yeah,
are you?
hey Taylor, I just replied to one of those in the chats. There is no makeup session if a session is canceled due to the weather. We really try to not cancel any sessions, but unfortunately it happens sometimes, but there will be no makeup session.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, so again, if your child is away the first session, they can pick it up the next session. The coach will have it for the next session. If you have any individual questions about your children, please email Elaine. She'll be able to help you with that because I'm not on that side of things. So she would be the best person to ask about that. We don't take friend requests. The only place that we do have friend requests if we have two parents that want to either be a volunteer manager or co-coach for U13 plus, then we'll put the same kids on the team. If that's something you're interested in, please email Elaine right away and join us tomorrow for the volunteer information session. And yeah, kids can play in the rain. It's just whether if it's like over flooded, that's when we'll cancel it, or if there's thunder and lightning during the game. But if it is just raining, we still will go ahead and play. I don't know about the providing sizes for uniforms. I don't know that side. That's the admin side, but we do have a variety of sizes per team. So you can kind of choose the smaller size or a larger size if that's what's needed.
Yeah, I was just going to answer that one. The sizing is decided and they kind of have a variety of sizes.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Do coaches rotate? So we try to stick coaches with the same team every week. A lot of our coaches do play with within our club. So we do work around their schedules, and sometimes games will be scheduled on a night that they usually coach. So if that's the case, we will have someone come and fill in. All of our coaches have been trained and are able to coach the level that they sub in for. So if you do see a new coach, that's probably why, just because they can't make the shift. But they should be consistent for the majority of the time.
Taylor, I'm just checking time for you. It is 12:37.
Okay.
So if you want to, people can stay on obviously, and we can give questions. But if you just want
Yeah.
to let
Okay.
everyone know, thanks for coming.
Yeah, no, awesome. Thanks, Jenna. This is
No worries.
awesome. Why we have you. But yeah, I just wanted to thank everyone for coming to this information session. Again, if you do have any questions, you can email me or Elaine. Our emails are in this chat. I can put them again at the bottom. And then also, if you have any questions about competitive, there's Jenna as well. But yeah, I think that's the majority of the questions answered. I tried my best to read all of them, but thank you again for taking time in your lunch, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. And I'm really looking forward to seeing you guys out on the field. And also, please say hi to me. I'm friendly. I love to talk to people, so I'd love to get to know all of you and all of your kids as well.
Thanks, everyone. And yeah, the schedule will be emailed from Elaine later this week. And then Taylor, if you just want to stop recording.
Yeah, I can't. Oh, there we go. Yeah,